Now let us see the further part, that is functions, duties and obligations of the promoter. Under section 11, functions and duties of promoter are given. Let us have one by one. Upon receiving login ID and password to create his web page on the website of the authority and enter all details of the proposed project for public viewing. Also furnish details of the registration granted by the authority, quarterly up-to-date list of number and types of apartments or plots booked, quarterly up-to-date the list of number of garages booked, quarterly up-to-date the list of approvals taken and the approvals pending subsequent to commencement certificate, quarterly up-to-date status of the project and other information and documents as may be specified by the regulations by the authority. So after means functions of the promoter after receiving the login ID and password, that is to create a web page and to upload all this information, and up to date quarterly updatation is required by submitting this information. Further, the advertisement prospectus shall mention prominently, means the advertisement, see what advertisement he is going to publish or prospect is going to publish, that is also required to be uploaded. Now in that advertisement or prospectus he should prominently mention what? Website address of the authority, wherein all details of the project have been entered, the registration number and other matters incidental thereto. Further, at the time of the booking and issue of allotment letter, to make available to the allottee approved sanctioned plans, layout plans, specifications. Further, the stage-wise time schedule of completion of the project, including the provisions for civic infrastructure like water, sanitation and electricity. Further, promoter shall be responsible for all obligations, responsibilities and functions till the conveyance. For structural defects, other defect, even after conveyance deed is done. This as per section 14 subsection 3, this defect liability period, that is till 5 years from possession. Okay, further, to obtain building completion certificate or occupation certificate, or if required both, and to make it available to allottees individually or to association of allottees. Further, to obtain lease certificate specifying period of lease if the land is leasehold land, to obtain lease certificate specifying period of lease and certifying that all dues and charges in regard to the leasehold land has been paid, to make a lease certificate available to association of allottees. Then to provide and maintain essential services on reasonable charges till taking over by the association. Formation of association, that is society. Formation of association, society, cooperative society of allottees, federation under the laws applicable. In absence of local laws, association of allottees by whatever name called, to be formed within a period of 3 months of the majority of allottees have booked their plot, apartment, buildings in the project. So for formation of the society, if there is no specific law, in Maharashtra there is, if we go for formation of cooperative housing society, then Maharashtra Cooperative Societies Act is there. Then that cooperative housing society will be formed as per the Maharashtra provisions of the Maharashtra Cooperative Societies Act 1960. And if when there is no local laws, then that association of allottees that is required to be formed by whatever name called, you can form a cooperative housing society. And if specific provisions are not there in the local laws, then this association of allottees that is to be formed within a period of 3 months of the majority of allottees have booked their plot or flats or apartments in the building. Means majority, that is 51%. 51% or more flats or apartments they are booked, then within 3 months the association of allottees, that is society or any other association, that is required to be formed by the promoter. Then to execute a registered conveyance deed, provision for this conveyance deed that is given under section 17 more clearly, that is this conveyance deed that is to be executed within 3 months from the date of issue of occupation certificate. See here the conveyance deed that is linked with the occupation certificate within 3 months from the date of occupation certificate. Further, to pay all outgoings until transfers of physical possession of the project collected from allottees continue to be liable even after transfer of the property and liable for cost of any legal proceedings. What is this? To pay all outgoings until transfer of physical possession of the project. See, until physical possession of the project, the promoter is liable to pay all outgoings. Outgoings stands for property tax, water charges, or any other ground rent or any other outgoings they are applicable related to the building, property, etc. Here the liability of the promoter, that is if he has collected from the allottees. See, if the promoter has collected the amount of these outgoings from the allottees, then he will have to pay that amount to the concerned authority. Okay, and even after transferring the property, if he has collected these amounts for further period in advance, and meantime he has transferred the property, means he has executed conveyance deed, then also his liability continues for that period for which he has collected the amounts from the allottees. And if he fails to make, he has collected the amounts from the allottees, and if he fails to make the payment to the authority, and because of his failure, if any cost or legal expenses due to legal proceeding, etc., or any penalty, interest that is charged, then the promoter will be liable to pay, because he has already collected the amount from the allottees, but he has failed to pay to the concerned authority. That is why he is liable to pay that amount as well as all incidental charges, that is penalty, interest, other costs, or cost of legal proceeding, etc. That entire liability will lie upon the promoter. See, after executing an agreement for sale, not mortgage or create a charge on the property or building, if created, it shall not affect the right and interest of the allottee. Means once he executes an agreement for sale, then he cannot create any mortgage or create any charge on that particular apartment or flat. Or if he creates, then the interest of the allottee, that is not going to be affected in any manner. The further functions and duties of promoter, that is the promoter may cancel the allotment only in terms of the agreement for sale. Means as per the terms and conditions of the agreement for sale only he will be able to cancel the agreement for sale, provided that the allottee may approach the authority for relief if he is aggrieved by such cancellation, and such cancellation is not in accordance with the terms of the agreement for sale, unilateral and without any sufficient cause. Then if the promoter has cancelled the agreement for sale with any allottee, and allottee is aggrieved, then the allottee has option to approach to the authority by filing complaint against the promoter. Further, the promoter shall prepare and maintain all such other details as may be specified from time to time by regulations made by the authority. So these were the means liabilities of the functions and duties of the promoter as per section 11 of the Act. Now as per section 12, there are obligations of promoter regarding veracity, that is authenticity of the advertisement or prospectus, means whatever he is publishing in advertisement or prospectus. So there should be authenticity, that is veracity. Okay, person making advance deposit on the basis of the information contained in the notice, advertisement or prospectus or on the basis of any mode on the basis of any apartment, plot or building and sustains any loss or damage by reason of any incorrect false statements included therein, then he shall be compensated by the promoter in the manner as may be provided in the act. Means there are provisions for penalty. Okay, means see, in advertisement and prospectus the promoter will have to mention true facts only, and if any allottee has bought the flat or apartment from him, relying upon the contents of the advertisement and prospectus, and later on if he sustains any loss or damage for on account of any incorrect false statement information in the advertisement or prospectus, then the promoter will be liable to pay the compensation to that allottee as ordered by the authority as per the provisions of the act. If the person affected intends to withdraw from the proposed project, he shall be return his entire investment along with interest and the compensation. See, if because of this incorrect or false statement, if that allottee, he can ask for withdrawal from the project and he can take his entire investment along with interest on compensation, so from the promoter. So this much provision is there, to this much action provision is there under section 12. See, and this much importance is given to the veracity or authenticity of the advertisement or prospectus. Means what is given in advertisement or what is given in prospectus, that is treated as true, that is treated as a factual, and if any false statement is made, incorrect statement is made therein, and if any allottee is suffered any loss, then that allottee can ask for compensation from the promoter, or he can withdraw himself from the proposed project, taking his the entire investment back along with interest and compensation as ordered by the RERA authority. Further, under section 13, there is provision about no deposit or advance to be taken without agreement for sale. See, the promise, there is a restriction to collect advance amount from the allottees without making agreement for sale. So what is this? What are these provisions? The means promoter here cannot accept a sum more than 10% of the cost of apartment, plot or building as an advance payment or an application fees without first entering into a written agreement for sale and register the said agreement for sale under the law in force. This provision, means this restriction under MOFA, that was of 20%, but here in RERA it is 10%. Means if the promoter wants to collect from the allottee more amount more than 10% of the flat cost, then before collecting amount more than 10% of the flat cost, he will have to enter into agreement for sale with the allottee. Then only he can collect the amount of more than 10% of the cost of the apartment or flat or plot. Means unless he enters into agreement, that agreement has to be registered. In Maharashtra there is Registration Act. Under the Registration Act, that agreement has to be registered. Then only the promoter can collect further advance amount from the allottees. The agreement for sale shall be in prescribed form. See, format of the agreement that is given in Annexure A. In Annexure A of the rule, that format is given in the Act itself in Annexure A. In that format, means substantial contents of that format that must be mentioned, that must be incorporated in agreement for sale. So what are the main contents of the agreement for sale? Particulars of development including construction of building, apartments, specification and internal and external development works, then the dates and the manner by which payments are to be made, then the date on which the possession is to be handed over, then the rates of interest payable by the promoter to the allottee and the allottee to the promoter in case of default, then and such any other particulars as may be prescribed by the authority. So these content should be there in the agreement. So further, under section 14, there is a provision about adherence to sanctioned plans and project specifications by the promoter. Means promoter will have to develop his project as per the sanctioned plan and as per the project specifications. See what are the provisions about this. The project to be developed and completed by the promoter as per sanctioned plans, layout and specification. Okay? Notwithstanding anything contained in any law, contract or agreement, the promoter cannot make any additions and alterations without the previous consent of that person. Minor additions or alterations are allowed after declaration and intimation, but major addition and alterations cannot be done without previous consent of the allottee or allottees. Any other alteration or additions in the buildings or the common areas without the previous written consent of at least 2/3 of the allottees other than the promoter who have agreed to take apartment in such building. See, if the addition alteration in the plan or specification that is in connection with a particular apartment or flat, then that is to be done with the previous consent of that person, previous consent of that allottee. And if the major addition alteration is there to the building, common areas, etc., then without previous consent of at least 2/3 of the allottees, this there cannot be addition, change, alteration, etc. in the sanction plan and project specifications. Means to make changes in sanctioned plan and specifications pertaining to entire building or common areas, prior consent of at least 2/3 of allottees that is required. Okay, the allottee, irrespective of the number of apartments plots booked by him, his family or company, firms, association, shall be considered as one allottee only. See, that allottee, if you are the allottee for one flat, your partnership from a company is for another flat, then you will be considered as only one allottee. If in the different persons coming in the family definitions, they have purchased more than one apartments, then they are also to be considered as one allottee. Okay. Further, structural defect, any other defect in workmanship, quality, provisions of services, any other obligations, if brought to the notice of the promoter within a period of 5 years by the allottee from the date of handing over possession, it is a duty of the promoter to rectify them without a further charge within 30 days, and in the event of promoter's failure to rectify such defects within such time, the aggrieved allottees shall be entitled to receive appropriate compensation in the manner as provided under this act. See, these provisions regarding rectification of structural defects due to changes in plans, specifications, etc. So, as per section 14, subsection 3, the defect liability period, that is of 5 years. See, if there is structural defects, any other defects in workmanship, quality, provisions of service, and any other obligations, etc., if they are noticed by the allottee, then allottees will have to bring these defects to the notice of the promoter in writing, and as soon as these defects are to be brought to the notice of the promoter in writing within a period of 5 years of handing over of the possession. because here under RERA also the allottee is bound to take possession within 2 months from the date of occupation certificate, that is also there. So from the date of handing over possession within 5 years, if defects are noticed, those defects are required to be brought to the notice of the promoter, and the promoter is bound to rectify those defects within 30 days of receipt of this intimation. And if the defects cannot be rectified or they are not rectified or cannot be rectified, then the allottees, they are entitled to receive suitable compensation from the promoter. So these are the provisions about the rectification of defects within 5 years from the date of handing over of possession. Further, as per section 15, there are obligations of promoter in case of transfer of a real estate project to a third party. Sometimes what happens, that promoter is not in position to complete this project, continue and complete this project. In that case, he can transfer the project to a third party. Regarding that, what provisions are there? Prior written consent from 2/3 allottees except the promoter and prior written approval of the authority. Means by that time, how many allottees have purchased the flats other than the promoter himself? Then prior written consent from at least 2/3 of allottees, that is required to be obtained, and also prior written approval of the competent consent authority, that is also required to be obtained to transfer the real estate project to some third party. No effect on the allotment sale by the previous promoter. Then if the project is transferred to third person, then the rights of the previous promoters, they are intact. There will not be any effect on the allotment sale by the previous promoter. Further promoter, he will have to accept the project as it is. Allottee, irrespective of the number of apartments, plots, books by him, his family, companies, firms, any association. Here also that allottee, his company, firm or family, that they will be treated as only one allottee for the purpose of this 2/3 majority. On the transfer assignment being permitted by the allottees and the authority, the intending promoter shall be required to independently comply with all the pending obligations of the previous promoter. Means all the obligations of the previous promoters, they are required to be completed by the intending promoter who wants to take over the project. No extension of time to the intending promoter. That intending promoter, he will have to complete the project within the project registration period only. No extension will be given to him. In case of default, means default is done by the intending promoter as well later on. In case of default, such intending promoter shall be liable to the consequences of breach or delay as provided under this Act, rules and regulations. Means he will be liable at the same way as the earlier promoter was liable, responsible and liable. Now further section 16 is there, that is for obligations of promoter regarding insurance of real estate project. The promoter will have to obtain all such insurances as may be notified by the appropriate government, including but not limited to insurance in respect of title of the land and building as a part of the real estate project and construction of the real estate project. Promoter is liable to pay the premium charges in respect of the insurance and shall pay before transferring the insurance to the association of the allottees. The insurance shall stand transferred to the benefit of the allottee or the association of allottees at the time of entering into an agreement for sale. On formation of the association of the allottees, all documents relating to the insurance shall be handed over to the association of the allottees. Means this was about the insurance of the real estate project, payment of insurance premium, and handing over of the insurance papers, etc., to the association of allottees. Further, section 17, that is important section, that is about a transfer of a title, that is a conveyance, about conveyance. That is about conveyance. What are the provisions under section 17? The promoter will have to execute a registered conveyance deed and hand over the physical possession of the plot, apartment, building to the allottees and the common areas to the association, and the title documents with a specified period. In absence of any local law, conveyance deed is required to be executed within 3 months from obtaining the occupation certificate as per section 17(1). Means it is the responsibility of the promoter to execute a registered conveyance deed as per section 17(a) within 3 months from the date of obtaining of occupation certificate. After obtaining the OC and handing over physical possession, to hand over the necessary documents, plans, common areas to the association. Means once OC is obtained, then the promoter will have to hand over physical possession of all the documents, further plans, common areas, etc., to the association. In the absence of any local law, to hand over the necessary documents and plans, common areas to the association within 30 days after obtaining the completion certificate. Here means this handing over process should be done by the promoter within 30 days of obtaining the completion certificate or occupation certificate, means whichever is applicable at that time, but within 30 days you will have to hand over all these things to the association of allottees. Now there are certain provisions regarding this under Rule 9, formation of legal entity and transfer of title, that is as per rule. That is formation of legal entity means application to the registrar within 3 months from the date on which 51% of the total number of allottees in such a building wing have booked their flats for formation of the association of allottees or formation of legal entity, means formation of society. Means as per the rule, means after 51% of the total number of allottees have booked their apartments, then within 3 months the promoter will have to submit application for registration of the legal entity, that is society. To form apex body either as a federation, cooperative housing society, companies, other legal entities. Okay, means if there are more cooperative societies or legal entities, then to form federation, etc. Then application to register within 3 months from the date of receipt of OC of the last building. In case there are more buildings and more cooperative society, housing societies, etc., more legal entities are to be formed, then in case of formation of federation, the application for registration is to be submitted to the registrar within 3 months from the date of receipt of OC of the last building. Okay, because collectively a federation is to be formed of all buildings, all cooperative housing societies. That is, as soon as the last building is completed and their association of legal entities formed, then within 3 months the application is to be required to be submitted to the registrar for formation. Then if the promoter fails to form the legal entity, the authority shall by an order direct the promoter to apply for formation of such legal entity, or may authorize the allottees to apply for formation of such legal entity. Means within this period, prescribed period, if the promoter fails to form the legal entity, then the registrar can give order, the authority can give order to the promoter to form the legal entity of the allottees, or the authorize the allottees to apply for formation of the legal entity under non-cooperation of the promoter. Thereafter, about conveyance under Rule 9, sub Rule 2, conveyance, that is transfer of title, etc. In case of plots, within 3 months from the date the allottees have paid full consideration. Period for conveyance of title in case of single building project, the promoter shall, subject to his right to dispose of the remaining apartments if any, execute the conveyance of the title within 3 months from the date of issue of occupation certificate. Period for conveyance of title by promoter to organization of allottees in case of layout. In the case of a building or a wing of a building in a layout, the promoter shall, subject to his rights to dispose of the remaining apartments if any, execute the conveyance of the structure of that building or wing of that building, excluding basement and podiums, within 3 months from the date of issue of occupation certificate. And in the case of a layout, the promoter shall execute the conveyance of the entire undivided or inseparable land underneath all building jointly or otherwise within 3 months from the date of issue of occupation certificate to the last of the building or wing in the layout. So this is about conveyance deed. In case of plotted development, within 3 months from the date allottees have paid full consideration. And in all other cases, for every building, the conveyance is required to be done within 3 months from the period of OC, that conveyance of that particular building, excluding the underneath development area, etc. And in case of layout, means where there are more buildings, then within 3 months from the date of OC to the last building or last wing, the conveyance is to be done in the name of the federation or association of allottees. If promoter fails, the authority shall order directing promoter to convey the title in favor of a legal entity. The authority will give order directing the promoter to convey the title, means to execute the conveyance deed in favor of the legal entity. The legal entity is also entitled for unilateral deemed conveyance under the MOFA 1963. See, MOFA is still applicable even though RERA is there, and deemed conveyance is to be done under the provisions of MOFA only. So that provision is there in Rule 9. If the promoter fails to give conveyance, then the society or association of allotee, they can go for deemed conveyance, that is unilateral deemed conveyance under the MOFA 1963. After conveyance, the promoter has rights to advertise, sell unsold flats, means his promoter's right. After conveyance also, his rights to sell unsold flats, they are with him only, they are continued. Association cannot put restriction or entry of the building and development of common areas, means association cannot put restriction on promoter. The promoter shall be permitted the entry of the premises of the building and common areas. See, where permissions are subject to approvals under the specific local laws, SRA 1971, MHADA 1976, MMRDA 1974, these are the acts. MRTP Act 1966, the Nagpur Improvement Trust Act 1936, etc. is there. The conveyance is to be made by the respective public authority within such specified period as may be provided under the relevant law, rules, regulations. See, some buildings are developed by the SRAs, MHADA, MMRDA, MRTP, Nagpur Improvement Trust Act, etc. They are there. And for those buildings, the conveyance to be done by those authorities as may be provided under the relevant law, because there are specific provisions under the respective act for conveyance. So these authorities, they are governed by the provisions of their respective law, rules, regulations. After project registration, to obtain insurance and hand over relevant document to the association, society, federation, body, corporate along with conveyance of title, means this is about insurance and handing over insurance documents to the association, etc. This is as per Rule 9. Means these were obligations of the promoter as per rules, as per Rule 9. Now further obligation on the promoter as per Rule 10, that is agreement for sale, that we have seen in provisions of the Act as well. The agreements for sale shall be in conformity with the rules, regulations, and shall be in accordance with the model form, because there is a format of agreement, Annexure A, and in that form only the agreement should be there. The promoter can modify the model form of agreement for sale at Annexure A, modification in conformity with the provisions of Section 13, subsection 2 of the Act and the rules and regulations. See, the modification to be done by the promoter, if he wants, then they should be in accordance with the provisions of the Act only. He cannot put in that agreement his own terms and conditions to favor the promoter only, and to defeat the interests of the allottee in any manner. He cannot do like that. He will have to make some changes, modification in that format of agreement, but that modification, that should be in confirmation with the provisions of the Act, rules and regulation. Any application, letter, allotment letter, any other document signed by the allottee prior to the execution and registration of the agreement for sale cannot limit the rights and interests of the allottee under the agreement for sale under the Act, rules and regulations. See, sometimes what happens, the promoters or builders, they take some undertakings, etc. from allottees in writing. But taking such undertakings in writing, they means they cannot defeat or adversely affect the interests of the allottees. The promoter will have to abide by the provisions of the Act, rules and regulations while entering into agreement, and as per the agreement only and as per the Act, rules and regulations only, the there will be responsibilities and liabilities of the promoter. Now section 18 is there, that is return of amount and compensation. See, this is an important provision about return of amount and compensation, especially when the promoter fails to complete his project or his registration is revoked in that case. Okay, section 18, that is important section, return of amount and compensation. See, if the promoter fails to complete or is unable to give possession duly completed by the date specified in the agreement for sale, or due to discontinuance of his business as a developer on account of suspension or revocation of the registration, or for any other reason, he shall be liable on demand to the allottee. Allottee will have to make the demand in this case. In case the allottee wishes to withdraw from the project, to return the amount received with interest, including compensation, without prejudice to any other remedy available. Means if the allottee doesn't get possession within time period because of the reasons mentioned here, then the allottee has option to withdraw from the project. In that case, the promoter will be liable to return the amount received with interest, including compensation. Also, the other remedies available to the allottees, they are also available to the allottees. And in case the allottee does not intend to withdraw from the project, he want to continue to remain in the project, then interest for each month of delay till the handing over of possession at the rate prescribed. Means if the allottee wants to remain in the project even after the project is delayed, even after the possession is not given in time, and there is failure on the part of the promoter, and he doesn't want to withdraw from the project, in that case the allottee can demand only interest for every month for delay till the handing over of the possession. Interest will be paid for delayed period only till the handing over of possession. And in case if he wants to withdraw from the project, then he can get the entire amount refund with interest from the date of payment of amount till the date of refund of amount. In addition to that, he can get some compensation, and besides this, his other rights, if any, they are also protected. Okay, but but in case he wants to remain with the project, then he can ask for the interest for delayed period only. Okay, if loss caused due to defective title of the land, then if the loss is caused to the allottee due to defective title of the land, then compensation to allottees as per the provisions of the act, then compensation will be paid by the promoter to the allottees. The claim for compensation shall not be barred by limitation provided under any law. Means here the claim for loss or damage to the due to defective title of the land is not barred by limitation. Means at any because this defect can be detected at any further time, so there is no question of restriction of any limitation. So it is this claim or entitlement of the allottee that is not barred by limitation. Failing to discharge any other obligations as per act, rules, regulations, agreement for sale, then promoter is liable to pay compensation to the allottees in the manner as provided under this act. Okay, and here the timeline for refund is given under rule 19. In case of this, the amount to be refunded to the allottee, the promoter is liable to refund the amount within 30 days from the date on which the refund along with applicable interest and compensation becomes due and payable to the allottee. Means from the date on which the promoter is liable to pay the amount to the allottee, from that date within 30 days the promoter will have to make a refund amount refund along with interest and compensation to the allottee, especially from that date is mentioned in the order by the authority. Then every instance thereof to be reported by the promoters within 30 days to the authority. Here promoters are also bound to report these instances, every instance to the authority within 30 days of taking place, or as the case may be, as applicable as per this provision. Okay, means this was about return of amount of compensation by the promoter to the allottees.